I finally read Holly Black's first fairy series, a modern fairy tale. Next up is Valant. This book was so grimy and dirty. I felt like my skin was crawling. You guys have no idea what a type A neat freak I am. Like, when my dog and I come back from walks, she knows to wait by the front door for me to clean her paws before she can come into the apartment. Like, anyway, quick recap. Val runs away from home after she catches her mother and her boyfriend together. Oh, that is so vile, the amount of therapy this poor girl is going to need. Anyway, she runs to New York City, where she ends up meeting these homeless kids who live in an abandoned subway. They're couriers for these fake creatures. They deliver this potion that's supposed to help the solitary fae deal with iron sickness in New York City. However, it can make humans get high and have fairy-like powers. I didn't read the description before going into it, so I was surprised that we weren't following Kay again, because I did really like her character. I thought that was an interesting character. I have some thoughts on the other characters, though. Namely, Lolly. I always thought Taryn would be the Holly Black character I hated the most. And then I met Lolly. That scene with the cat was unforgivable. Like, that girl is a psycho, and I feel for her. I do. That poor girl lived through a lot of trauma. She was 13, dating a guy 10 years older than her, ran away from home to be with him, but then turns out, oh, shock, he's like a terrible person, so she ended up being homeless. Like, that poor girl really lived through it. Like, she went through it, but some of the things she did. Like Lewis, I thought he was an interesting character. That poor kid, he's just trying to keep everyone safe, and they're all determined to not be safe. Like, I feel for that kid, I do. My second favorite aspect about this book was the solitary fae who were exiled to New York City. I thought that was a really interesting angle of fairy that I hadn't seen in her other books, so I thought it was really interesting to see that. Of course, they're surrounded by so much iron, so it's going to make them sick, but I thought the politics of their existence was really interesting too. My favorite part was the little shout out to the High Court and the Greenbrier line. I love the Cruel Prince, so I saw it and I was like, oh, fun! It was also really cool how she threw that in there, and this was 10 years before The Cruel Prince came out. Overall, this is definitely the darkest Holly Black book I read. It's like Euphoria, but with fairies.